Welcome to this Excel basic video tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you the most of the basic that you need in order to get started using the Microsoft Excel. And the version of Excel that I'm going to be using in this tutorial is Excel 2016. Okay, for Windows, kung Windows yung ginagamit nyo, if you're using a different version of Excel, maybe yung older or newer or even yung new version, or if you use Excel on the Mac, there will be some slight differences. No, mayroong differences, just slight lang naman. But for the most part, I would say 95% of what I show in this tutorial will be very applicable to you and your usage of Excel. So, let's start.
So, i-click ko lang yung icon here to get started using Excel, and Excel now would like me to make a choice. Gusto niyang malaman if I would like to open an Excel template or simply open a blank workbook. Makikita niyo there are lots of templates to choose from. So, welcome to Excel Tour, and it's a good way to kind of learn some of the basic of Excel. So that's why you're watching my video, so I'm going to skip that one. There's a cash flow analysis, there's an MO insights, tax symbol, sales invoice, there's a budget in here. Here it is, a family budget. So mayroong lahat ng uri ng Excel spreadsheet that you can just open up and start changing the data, start using it that way. So I would encourage you to browse and explore these templates that you are available to you. In addition sa 30 templates that you have, merong option to search online templates. So, search ko yung budget, and you can see it comes up with even more budget. You're not limited just to the one family budget. There's a whole bunch that you can choose from. Over here in the right, there's a categories that you can sift through, and you can select a specific and kind of budget or a spreadsheet template that you would like to use. If you find one that you want to use, you can just click on it and click create, and it will make a copy of that as a spreadsheet that you can open and use in Excel. So please do spend some time exploring what's available in many cases. Much of the work is already done for you. You can simply use somebody else's templates and adjust it for what you need. Now, templates are very useful, but having said that, I think in order to really learn to use Excel fully and properly, it's best to start with a blank workbook. So I just going to double click on that to select a blank workbook and open it up, and first thing we need to do is learn about the layout that we have in Excel 2016. May ilang mga terms na kailangan mong malaman.
First of all, across the tab, we have some tabs. We have the Home tab, the Insert tab, Page Layout, and more, as you can see. Each of these tabs is pretty important, and when you click on a particular tab, it opens up a ribbon. Okay? Ito ang ribbon para sa Home tab. If I click the Page Layout tab, I get the Page Layout ribbon. Now, each ribbon is divided up into groups. So you can see I have the Themes group, I have the Page Setup group, a Scale to Fit group, and these are all in the Page Layout ribbon. And I get that ribbon by clicking on the Page Layout tab. So those are some important terms that you need to know. Tab, ribbon, group.
So mapapansin nyo, in the corner of some of these groups, there's what I like to call a lunch button, okay? So, the scale to fit group, merong little lunch button sa corner. The sheet option group, meron ding lunch button in the corner. The arrange group doesn't seem to have one. Now, what are these lunch button? Basically, you can click on the lunch button to give you even more option. So, what Microsoft has done here is they're trying to fit all the page layout option in this ribbon, but of course there's a limited amount of geography. There's a limited amount of space that we have to work with, and so sometimes they can fit everything in the little group. Sometimes they can, and if they can't, there's a lunch button that you can click to get even more. So that's why some have a lunch button, some don't. Okay, I think it's important to start with terminology. because I'm going to be using it throughout this tutorial, alright? A couple of other layout terms that you're going to be need to know in spreadsheet itself. This is the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheets are made up of columns and rows. Okay, so you can see we have a column A, column B, column C, column etc. And it if browse to the right, okay, you can see that there's even more than that. And if needed, it'll just keep going to the right, adding more and more columns, okay? Once it gets to the Z, it goes to the column column A, and so lots and lots of columns in the spreadsheet. Now, what about rows? I have row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, okay? So spreadsheet are made up to columns and rows. Now, the intersection of a column and row is what produces a cell. So this is a cell. And every cell in Excel has a name, okay? This particular cell is named C2. And you can imagine how I get that name. It's just the intersection of the column and the row. This particular cell here has a name. It's M9 and this is I16. Now that may seem obvious and unimportant, but it's actually very exciting and powerful. That very cell in Excel has a name because it has a name. You can describe it. You can have Excel do certain things with the content in each cell. We'll get to that a little bit later, alright? Now, in addition to column, rows, and cells, there's another part of a spreadsheet that you need to know about. That is a range, okay? Now, a range is a group of cells that are together. A range could be this, could be this, it could be any number of things. It's basically a group of cells that are next to each other, that are together, and guess what? Ranges can also be named, just like cells. So just like this name, L7. I can also name this. Okay, now the way you can name a range is you start in the upper left and you name the cell in the upper left. So this is L7, then you say the word through. So L7 through, and then you say the name of the cell in the lower right, N12. So L7 through N12. That is the name of the range. Now, in the back of your mind, just tuck this piece of information. The way you would write the name of this range is you would write L7 through, the symbol of through is colon, and then you would put an N12. So that is how you would write the name of the range that you see here. Okay, I'm going to tap escape to get out of that because I don't really want to type that in the cell. So that was some background information that you're going to need in order to really use Excel properly. Okay, now that we've talked about the layout of the ribbon and the tabs and the groups and things and also the spreadsheet itself with the columns, the rows and the cells and the ranges. And actually, I should add a couple more. Can you see that? This is all on a sheet 1 and I can add a sheet 2, sheet 3, etc. Each of these sheets added together is what we create a workbook. So sheet or worksheet add up to workbook. Okay, now that we've got all that as a foundation for our Excel use, let's now start actually creating and working on an Excel spreadsheet in our part 2 of this tutorial. It's just because we have a 9 minutes video tutorial, so I will stop this one and we'll continue this on part 2. So thank you and good day. Thank you for watching. Bye.